problem with most of these pre-written tabletop adventures is that they're not meant to be played at the table. And this is why. I just realized I glitter bombed myself. Nothing a little editing magic can't fix. How'd that look? I'm still practicing my transitions. I mean, have you actually had one of these open in the middle of your game? Look at this coffee table tome taking up all my space! When am I gonna put my 3 cans of Mountain Dew and all my dice? Okay, you and I both know I have way more dice than... And don't even get me started on what's inside. The adventure itself is fine, but it's full of this! Ah! Words! I can't read! Nailed it. Look at all this text! How am I supposed to know what to tell my players at a moment's notice when they decide to go into room K37 instead of room K73? And why are we labeling rooms like it's Battleship? Wait, something's missing about this box. Oh. Anyway. My turn. K78. Did I hit? The room is 30 feet square, rising to a 20-foot tall flat ceiling. With a stone indentation burns fiercely in the center of the room. Twice the diameter tall white flame produces no heat. The rim of the brazier, no two stones are the 7 cup-shaped indentations, a wood-based area around the seemingly unable... I am so sorry I dozed off there. And so will your players, if you run these games straight out of the book. So what? Should we just take all these adventures out back and put them out of their misery? Yes. No. We can save them. I can save them. Just like with my sweet, sweet Shadowheart. I can fix her.
You'll need to do a lot more leg work before I commit to any hip work.
Crap! Where were we? Yeah. Saving our games. The first mistake you might make is reading that text verbatim to the players. You're gonna have to read a bit ahead before each game. You're gonna have to prepare. But wait! We need a method to this madness. One that allows us to run the ideas presented in these books with ease. Entire dungeons, towns, NPCs with personalities, all at a glance. All with a highlighter.
Don't you dare touch me! Stand back! No!
Just kidding. What we're looking for is harder, better, faster, stronger. And by that, I mean just the information we need at a glance in as few words as possible. I found a shorthand method that does all of these things because I describe my world like a point-and-click computer game. Here's how I do it. First, let's pick a room. For this example, we'll use the bottom floor of Old Bone Grinder from Chapter 6 of Curse of Strahd. It's a windmill where a witch's coven resides. This room alone takes up half a page in 411 words and has a lot going on for us to work with. All right, bear with me as we look at the read-aloud text. The ground floor has been converted into a makeshift kitchen, but the room is filthy. Baskets and old dishware are piled everywhere. Adding to the clutter is a peddler's cart, a chicken coop, a heavy wooden trunk, and a pretty wooden cabinet with flowers painted on its doors. In addition to the clucking of the chickens, you hear toads clucking. All right, time out. I never read aloud the read-aloud text. When I read directly from the book, I start to see a glassy sheen in my players' eyes. Rather, use your own words to describe the scene. We'll put the room number down, 01, and we'll give it a better name, ground floor doesn't convey any sort of image. But filthy makeshift kitchen does, so let's label it that. Below the room's name, I put down the size, shape, and general feel of the room in as few words as possible. This room is round, 20 feet in diameter, 8-foot ceilings. Now, we label all the senses. We see baskets and dishes piled everywhere. We hear chickens clucking, toads croaking. We smell baking pastries mixed with some horrendous stench. And if the players were to walk inside, they'll feel the crunch of the littered children bones on the floor. That is our big picture. But what's inside that can be interacted with? Well, we have several things looking at the read aloud. A peddler's cart, a chicken coop, a heavy wooden trunk, a pretty wooden cabinet, and an open barrel in the room's center. We'll also want to know if there's any exits from this room. Note them at the end of your list. Assuming the players are approaching this room from the front door, there's a stairway that leads up to the second level. Timeout. Now, if I was your player and I asked you what was in the cabinet, how quick could you find it in this paragraph in the middle of our game? This is where my philosophy of running the game like a point-and-click puzzle starts to show. This is all I describe as what's inside this room after paraphrasing my big picture. When my players click on something listed here,
I searched the cabinet!
I have an arrow that tells me if there's more information if they decide to give the object any further investigation. So,
inside the cabinet, you see bowls with baking ingredients inside, as well as a couple hollowed-out gourds. There's also about a dozen locks of hair hanging inside the doorway, as well as a few labeled containers.
What's in the gourds?
Bone meal. Made from children.
What's on the labels?
There are 3 containers. The first says youth, the second, laughter, and the third, mother's milk.
What do they look like?
Youth has a golden syrupy texture, while laughter looks like a reddish tea, and mother's milk has a green, milky consistency.
I drink the mommy milk!
You just drank pale tincture poison.
Wait.
what does that do, bro? Well, if I just used the book, I'd have to grab my DM guide to look up what it does. But I can put either a page number to look it up later, or a shorthand version of it in parentheses on my notes. If we note the remaining objects in this room using arrows, we would get something like this. Wow, that's 58% less words than the original. And it's easier on the eyes. I've been using this method for years now, but find a style that works for you. But hey, no matter how good your notes are, you'll never run a great game without this bit of advice right here. That's all I got. See ya.